And welcome to Spit to the Beat podcast. I'm your host, Stacy, aka Beat Unstoppable Prayer, and we are back in the virtual studio again. I got another great show lined up for you. My guest, all the way from Akron, Ohio, is in the building with me virtually. But before I bring her home, you know how I do. I kick my show off.
Attention.
Spit to the beat.
Podcast.
It's all about inside the music industry.
Nobody do it better.
And don't forget, you can catch my video clips on Facebook at Stacy B Unstoppable Prayer or Stacy Spit to the Beat Prayer. Don't forget to go on my YouTube channel where you will catch this full video interview of my guest on Spit to the Beat. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell. I really would appreciate it. Now we are back. Without further ado, my guest, all the way again, like I said, from Akron, Ohio, formerly known as Tanae Williams, now Miss Tiffany Bynoe. I'm gonna let her do her thing as she come on the show and join me. Let's bring her on right now. Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing wonderful. Now that you're on the show with me.
Awesome. Me too.
Good. How's your day?
Pretty good. We had a beautiful day. Out here in Akron, Ohio, we usually have snow around this time. But we had like 61 degrees and then tomorrow 65 and sunny. So can't complain.
Well, way down south, we is getting a little bit of cold weather. But not too bad.
Right.
Promise you, no snow.
Yeah, we get it all.
So let's talk about, it's all about you today. Let's talk about, you formerly known as Tanae Williams, now Tiffany Bynoe. How was that transition? Tell my audience a little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I come from that era where, things happen to us artists, that we weren't quite knowledgeable about, I know when I got my first deal, I was like 18 years old. So,
Okay.
So there's a lot of things I didn't know. So when my manager came to me and he said, okay, well, we need to change your name to Tiffany. From Tiffany to Tanae, because there was another girl named Tiffany coming out, the pop artist at that time, which I was doing hip hop. So I didn't understand, but they needed me to change my name. Well, I changed my name to Tanae, which I agreed to it, because once we did the study on it, it really, it fit who I was as a person, So I said, oh, that's not too far off of Tiffany. Let me go ahead and do it. So we went ahead and did that. And come to find out throughout all the years, I had put music out under Tanae Williams. And that's how I ended up finding out that my manager owned the rights to that name. So with that being said, in order for me to come back out and give you the music that I so love, and so passionate about, I had to come out as Tiffany.
Oh, wow. So they kind of owned you a little bit back in the day, a little bit, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So you was able to escape Tanae Williams and come back now to Tiffany Bynoe. So tell us about, who is she?
Well, listen, I tell you what, she is a mature, grown, and sexy woman who, has a lot to offer other than music. I've done, I like to speak to the young generation, to the younger women, to the younger girls. Let me say that. I like to speak to the younger girls and the younger boys. The things that I've learned throughout the industry, a lot of times we don't want to pass the baton or pass the knowledge that we have, and it's very important for us to do that. So when I was out as Tanae Williams, it was interesting because I was doing hip hop music. I was with the wonderful Steve Silk Hurley, who produced my "Give 'Em a Love Song." It was number 3 on the Billboard charts. Some would say it went number 1, but it went number 3 and went really well. Interesting thing is that I ended up, there were some hiccups along the way that ended up happening with me. And throughout my journey, I ended up getting pregnant with my daughter. Okay. When I got pregnant with my daughter was born with dextrocardia, which is a heart condition. And dextrocardia is where your heart is reversed. So if there was anything that they had to do to repair it or do anything for it, they would have to actually put a mirror in front of her heart to actually see it, the proper way that, in order to fix it. Well, when she was born and went through that, it wasn't time for mommy's music. It was time for
Yes.
me to really step back and really, make sure her world was nothing missing, nothing broken there, And I knew that in the process of doing that, because I am a strong faith woman, I knew that in the process of doing that, that God would redeem things, So
Okay.
had I continued to go out as Tanae Williams, I probably wouldn't have, the character, the integrity, the person. Well, I don't even want to say personality because that comes and goes, but the stamina of a strong Black woman that can stay in this industry and go through the things that we go through, but yet still stay faithful, still stay hopeful, still stay loving, and those are the things that I would love to pass on to the next generation of music.
So it sounds like you came back better and stronger.
I did. I believe so.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
think
heard
yes, when
before.
we're young, what do you have to give?
Right.
Really,
Yeah.
when you're 17 years old, what do you have to give? I knew I didn't have anything to give, I mean, except for my gift, but now I have more than just my gift. I have experience that comes along with that gift that is helpful.
Especially you were so young in the music industry, you didn't have much to offer, but your voice.
But my voice, that's it. And it's so funny because we look at things in the industry and, the industry wants to get them young, put them out there and,
Right.
so that we can do whatever we want to do, but then I believe that it's the seasoned ones that need to come out and really guide and lead, because when we have young people that guide and lead, something ends up happening, And I always
Yeah.
say this. I always say that no matter what generation comes, that as long as we have our moral conduct threaded through that generation, we'll be all right. But the important thing is listening and hearing what that generation before you went through, and honoring those things and respecting those things.
So do you feel like this is like a rebirth of Tiffany now?
I really do. And you want to know something interesting? Is that
Go ahead.
Steve So Curly and myself, we're in the process of redoing Give 'Em a Love. So I
Oh,
really do feel like it is, and not only, I think that's just the beginning of my journey, but I just love so much music, whether it be country, pop, gospel, R&B,
yeah, I was reading
So,
it in your bio. You all over the genre of music, jazz,
who
contemporary,
said
R&B. So you
who
sing
said
it all.
that? Yeah, who said that we had to stay in one spectrum of music? Music is
It's
just,
true.
what I realized when I was a little girl. I'm sorry, I have a little cold, but I realized
That's
when I
okay.
was a little girl that I fell in love with vibrations and sounds before I fell in love with vocals. So like tones and things like that is what really pierces my ear. And that's kind of what really, I remember I would get on the floor. My mom would play her music on Saturdays. Every Black mom, their mom would get up and clean up. And so my
Yeah.
mom would clean up on Saturday, and I was only 3 years old. And I remember this like, perfectly. And I remember we had a wood floor, and I would get on the floor and I would just vibe with the music. And then the minute that the music would go off and she would, transition to another album, before the music came back on, I would be screaming for for the music to come back. So
Right.
I fell in love with vibration, before I fell in love with, you know, singing ability, if you
Hey,
would.
cool, cool. Hey, hold tight. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back and talk about some of your music, okay?
Sounds good.
Hey, this is Stacy, aka Beat Unstoppable Per You with Spit to the Beat podcast. Would you like to be my guest if you're a singer, songwriter, musician, producer, or promoter? Give me a call at 901-341-6777 or email me at myguest@spittothebeat.com. And welcome back to Spit to the Beat podcast. I'm your host, Stacey, aka Be Unstoppable Per Year, and joining me virtually in the studio is my guest, again from Akron, Ohio, Miss Tiffany Bynoe. We'll get ready to talk about your music.
Yes.
So let's get into it. The song you sent me, Give Him a love that he can feel. Tell me a little bit about that before we play it.
Well, the interesting thing is that was my song back when I was 19. That's the
Okay.
song that's the song that Steve and I are redoing right now. Steve Socarli. And I gave you that song because I just wanted the journey of Tanae, for you to see Tanae and Tiffany, So
Oh.
that's why I gave you the before and after music.
So we are redoing this song, is what
Yes,
you're saying.
we're redoing it. Yes.
Okay, let me play it.
I'm gonna give him a love, give him. 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 I'm gonna give him a love. Oh yeah. I wanna show him that I'm faithful. Just let him know that my love is true. This is no imitation, because he's proven that he loves me too. And through it all, good and the bad times.
That was nice, real nice. I was
Yeah.
bobbing before I brought you on the show. I get that hip hop feel.
Huh?
I said I get that hip hop feel from it.
Yeah. Steve did his thing. He had kind of like a dance, hip hop type of thing going on. And
So what's gonna be the twist to it?
huh?
So what's gonna be the twist to it, bringing it back?
Oh wow, the twist to it is, it's interesting because when I did it, like I said before, I was such a little girl, So the
Mhm.
twist to it is now really giving it with everything that I am now, and it's just such a different vibe, such a different such a different even thought process,
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I'm excited about that.
Okay, let's jump into the next song, The One You Love.
Yes.
My intensest gravity. No one can take this high away. It's off intensity. I am just that way. 'Cause I know it works for me. We can't let time just slip away. Baby, I just have to say, I'm not a narcissist, emotion trip. I'm a love fanatic. I'll take a risk to be the one you.
All right. Is this the one?
Yes.
Now, I can definitely tell the difference in the voice.
Yes.
So this is a lately recorded song or what?
Yeah.
talk about
This is one of my songs that I do on my set. I've been doing a
Okay.
lot of shows, like opening up for like Joe, Drew Hill. We had who else? Oh, I have Gerald Albright coming up. So, and the interesting thing is, because I say I have such, I'm such a lover of music, that no matter
Yeah.
what genre comes in, I'm like, I'm your girl. I got it.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. All right, we got one more to go, the radio edit version.
And I just got to be me.
The remake.
Yes. Yes.
What made you do that one?
Oh my goodness. I come from that. When I said my mama would play that Saturday music.
Yeah,
So I come from that era of Natalie Cole, Whitney
that's one of the
Houston.
songs you always wanted to sing, huh?
Yes. And the funny thing is I always sung them. I was 7 years old, 11 years old singing these songs and didn't know nothing about what I was feeling. I just knew that I loved it. And so now to be able to really sing these songs with the passion and the love that I have, it's amazing. Because I also redid Isley Brothers Make Me Say It Again.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also redid Shame by Evelyn Champagne King, but I kind of slowed it down and flipped it out a little bit. So yeah.
Your voice sounds good. I
Thank
definitely
you.
singing that
Thank you
song.
so much.
So let's talk about your life career as far as being a musician, artist, the
Mhm.
singer, songwriter, author, entrepreneur. How do you balance all that?
Well, you know what? With help, with help, and true,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, and true delegation. I'm telling you, I have an assistant, Debbie Ullah, who is
Okay.
yes, amazing. I mean, not she doesn't miss anything. So she really takes good care of me. And but that's the important thing in this industry is to really get somebody behind you, not only that knows the business, but is passionate about you and what you have to do, you know? Because there's
Right.
so many times that you can get people on your team and really everybody's trying to do their own thing to where it's just so chaotic that it just doesn't gel. But when you finally get that team that everybody knows the place, everybody knows their position, and everybody is safe and content in that place, man, I tell you, and it took me to get to this place to really have that team, to be honest with you.
That is great. It's good to have a
Yeah.
team around you, people that believe in your vision
Yes,
and see
yes,
where you're trying to go and help you get there. That's awesome.
absolutely, absolutely.
Look, hold tight one more time. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back and talk about the promo video that you got me and some more things on Spit to the Beat podcast, okay?
Sounds good.
Hey, this is Stacy, aka Beat Unstoppable Per You with Spit to the Beat podcast. Would you like to be my guest if you're a singer, songwriter, musician, producer, or promoter? Give me a call at 901-341-6777 or email me at myguest@spittothebeat.com. And we're back to Spit to the Beat podcast. I'm your host, Stacey, aka Beat Unstoppable Per You, and joining me again in the studio is Miss Tiffany Bynoe. We are talking to her live from Akron, Ohio. She says it's not too cold up there, so I guess I'm a Southern boy.
No, you wouldn't like
Time of the year, this time of the year, I do not go up north.
no.
All right, all right. Wait, let's talk about the promo videos you sent me. What's going on with that, and how's that help developing your career as you speak?
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a wonderful app that is called New Media Podcast.
Okay,
That is giving my fans the opportunity to go places with me. Remember, I was saying that we're getting ready to do the Steve Silk Hurley and myself are getting ready to do the Tanae Williams song and Give 'Em a Love. We're also recording another song. So all those journeys and the beginning of the year, I have some wonderful things happening with Kevin Dorsey. So I just want the fans to be able to come with me along the way. And what better way than to have your own app, that people can
exactly.
lock, yes, that they can lock into and really, not search and go through the rigmarole, but actually come straight to you and actually talk to you and get response. And I love that. To me, it's like, if you're not touchable or reachable, what good are you?
That's right. Correct. Sometimes these stars get that head
Hey,
and like, yeah. I like one thing that Fantasia has said. She said in one of her concerts, she said, "Look, I'm reachable. You can touch me.
oh,
I feel where you are and stuff like that." And you sound to be same type of artist, so that is wonderful.
absolutely. I tell you why she says that. She says that because in order because of who we are as women of God and as women that who know who we are, um,
Right.
we're not threatened by anything. You know, we're not
Okay.
threatened by anything. I'm not threatened by another beautiful woman that can sing. I'm not threatened by, any of that. That's why I can work close with other women and really, benefit out of that, because it's when you know who you are in Christ, you don't have to put a facade up. You can actually allow him and the love that he has flow through you and actually be the thing that people see. And they're like, well, it's just something different. Well, that
Right.
difference
I mean,
is that
you,
love.
that's
It's that
your
love. So when she says
nobody
that
take
I'm
that gift from
reachable,
you.
yeah, when she says that I'm reachable and I'm touchable, you know why she says that? She says because in him, because of him, you can reach through her, you can reach him. That's why she's
Exactly.
reachable.
Cool, cool. Let's
I
keep
love
that
it.
from
What's up, everybody? This is Howard Hewitt, and I want you all to look out for my niece, Tiffany Bynoe, and her new single, Make Me Say It Again. It's hot, y'all. I'm so proud of Tiffany. I'm proud of the artist she's become. I'm proud of her consistency and the dedication she's shown in her music through the years. Check it out.
Debbie Ullah. Then I have the one and the only wonderful Tiffany
We have some
Bynoe.
amazing things that are planned. I am doing the Jazz Festival, which we're going to have here in Akron, Ohio in June. It's just not with one genre of music with me, because I'm such a lover of music that I'm all over the place.
All over the place, and you're doing an amazing job. And it is time for you to get back out there and share your amazing talent with everyone.
you.
I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
And we'll get to explain later on how this all works and talk about the virtual backstage pass and all of that.
Hey guys, it's your girl Tiffany. I want you to come backstage with me.
Tiffany's exclusive fans. That's right. Get exclusive virtual backstage pass.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm glad to be here.
Been hearing a lot about you, and you're a very lovely lady, and great voice.
Yeah, great voice indeed. Find out how to get the virtual backstage pass right here in the app. Yes, travel with Tiffany wherever she goes. Her personal backstage pass. Front row seat to what she's got going on. Watch the full interview on the app right here. Just click on the second tab at the bottom, also known as the search page. It'll open up. Click on the scrolling banner and watch the full interview with Debbie Ullah and Tiffany. Find out how to get your virtual pass when she goes live right here in the vertical menu. Click on the Go Live icon and you can see Tiffany live. Also, make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss anything. And below that is the More tab. Click that and share it to all your friends.
Y'all ready?
And we're back to Spit to Beat podcast with my host, my guest, Miss Tiffany Bynoe. Look, that's a great promo video.
Thank
So this is one of the ways that people will be able to get in touch with you through your app now.
Yes.
What are the other ways that people can reach out and find you?
You can also find me on Facebook, which is I'm Tiffany Bynoe. You can find me on Instagram, I'm Tiffany Bynoe, Snapchat, TikTok, all that great stuff. But you can also find my music on YouTube and on all digital platforms, Apple Music. So the music that I do have out, you can find it on those platforms, all digital platforms.
Okay, great. One question I had, and I almost forgot to ask you. You've been in kind of like the eastern part of the world.
Yeah.
Why not never lived in the West where all the music, all that was going back in the day?
You know what? Interesting thing is that when I did the Apollo Theater when I was 14, I won 3 times at the Apollo Theater when I was 14. And so they offered me a record deal, but my mom was like, no, you're coming home. You're at least going to finish high school, So I went back home, finished high school, and I knew that New York was the crowd for me,
Okay.
New York had now my uncle, Howard Hewitt, he went to the Midwest. He went to California. And,
Right.
and he was very successful in that. But for some reason for me, it was New York.
Okay.
Yeah, the doors that were open, You know, like I said, I won the Apollo Theater, and I ended up meeting the producer that ended up writing my music and helping me get the deal. So yeah, so all of my musical connections happened to be in New York at that time. So, but I also have, like, throughout my journey, you know, I've ventured off a little bit. You know, I've gone out to LA and worked with Howard a lot. You know, we've done a couple of, well, actually about 3 songs together.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Let's jump right into this. Being an author, your empowerment book, Me.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Yes, it's called Me. It's it's abbreviation for Made Extraordinary. And the reason why I wrote the book is because there were some things that I had went through as a little girl, and I didn't realize until I had become a woman that they were still there, you know? And I didn't like it. And so it was like just that mirror where you have to be honest with yourself and say, okay, now it's just time for you to do the research within and deal with some things, you know, if you desire change. And so, you know, I just begin to look at my journey and the things that, like, I remember when I was a little girl, there were 3 things that I confessed as a little girl. And I didn't realize until I was an adult how powerful, you know, we know these things, that life and death is in the power of the tongue. We understand that.
Right.
But you don't realize that when I was a little girl, I said I was going to win the Apollo Theater, I was going to do Soul Train, and I was going to win Grammys. Those were the 3
Oh,
things,
yeah.
yeah, those are the 3 things that I wanted from the time I was 5 years old until the time I left to go to New York, you know? And so I accomplished 2 out of the 3, you know, but the thing that I realized once I really sat back and started looking at my life, I realized that it was things that I began to speak to myself that began to manifest, you
Yeah.
know? And so
Yeah.
that's where it came in, where the book came in. It's like, okay, now where you're lacking at is really that confidence in who you are, you know, and who God set you aside to be. So I had to really dig in there and, you know, and understand that. And once I got that understanding, it's like I said, I'm reachable. It's very important for me to give that knowledge on, you know, to the next generation, so that you don't have to go into your adult life with that. You know, you can look at it at 15, 16, however old you are, and look at that and say, okay, I'm not going to take this into my adult life. I'm going to look at it right now and process it and put it where it needs to be put, so that I can, you know, not have to cross over something that you don't have to cross over when you become an adult, you know?
Only if we had books like this back when we was all growing up.
Hello.
But we
Right.
had mom and daddy though.
Oh my
But
goodness.
we
A lot of things I believe that our generation learned, we learned hitting the wall, right? It's like
exactly.
you learned hitting that wall. And then one of the cliches that people say is, oh, experience is a good teacher. Yeah, but your experience could be a good teacher. I don't have to experience that, you know?
Exactly.
So why not listen to you, respect your journey, and say, okay, well, okay, you telling me not to make that left. I'm not gonna make that left, you know?
Right.
And so
Have
that's,
someone to speak into your ear. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And we have to be, you know, it's like, you know, when you see someone get into the industry and then they malfunction because they don't have the proper tools. You know, one of the things that Howard kept saying to me, he said, Tiff, he said, you know, he says, Tiff, there's a book that I want you to read, and it was Understanding the Music Industry. He said, before you
Okay.
decide to do anything, read this book, you know. And I didn't read it.
It was a thick book too.
It was a big
Yeah, I read that book.
Right. It was a big book. I didn't
Yeah.
read it. So I had to
Talks
learn
about
the hard way,
everything.
you know, so I had to learn the hard way. And so, but there was probably some things in that book that I probably would have, you know what I mean? I probably would have
Well,
had a little.
you kind of segue right into my next question. What would you tell artists now that you know? What would you tell up and coming artists how to avoid the pitfalls?
You know, I would always say, know who you are first. Because
Okay.
if you don't know who you are first, when you get out there, there are other things that will define you, you know?
Right.
And so when you
Right.
know who you are, then you're not wavering from left to right. You know, you're steadfast and unmovable on that thing that you know that's for you.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
There you have it, Miss Tiffany Bynoe. Spit to the Beat podcast. Thank you again for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
I appreciate you. Now hold tight for a little bit as I wrap it up, okay?
Absolutely.